Welcome back everyone to another Akeyless Getting Started video. In our last video, we talked about encryption keys we rotated from both the UI and the CLI. And in this video, we're going to talk about authentication methods. Now, authentication methods are mechanisms that humans or machines use in order to prove that they are who they say they are in order to access a service. In our case, we're talking about accessing secrets with Akeyless. And workloads in humans can access Akeyless using various methods, including the web console, browser extension, CLI, or our SDKs. We also offer an extensive range of plugins and integrations, as well as a variety of authentication methods, which you can actually see here in this documentation page, which are actually split, generally speaking, between machine and human authentication. And they can be used together with role-based access controls in order to ensure users are granted access to the specific secrets they need. The list you can see includes integrations with OIDC, SAML, LDAP, as well as Cloud IAM and Kubernetes. And it's important to note that Cloud and Kubernetes authentication methods that we offer actually enable authentication without the need for a password or API key. So in this example, we're going to go ahead and demonstrate creating a simple API key that will generate login credentials for either human or machine access, but in this case, we'll only show you how a human user will use it to log into their account for this video. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so getting right into it, let's go ahead to our console, and we're going to go ahead and click on auth methods here, of course. We'll click new API key, and we'll call this API auth 1, and we're going to go ahead and make sure, of course, our TTL isn't too long. Best practice is to keep it short. We'll save it in the main location here, the main folder, and we see our authentication method has an access ID and an access key that was given to us, and what we're going to do is go ahead and save it to a file for logging in later. Now, these credentials are credentials that you would give to the user that's going to be using them to log into their account, which of course has different permissions than the admin. And that we will see in the future video how that's done with access roles. So now let's go ahead and create another API authentication through the CLI just to see how it's done. So we'll clear that up. We'll go ahead and type in Akeyless create auth method, give it a name. We'll call this one API auth 2, and we will see that it will create another authentication method for us, an API key, and of course we have an access ID and an access key just like before, and that information can be saved for later. And that's how we create authentication methods both from the UI as well as the CLI. And in our next video, we're going to talk about role-based access control, where we then associate an authentication method, and that gives specific access to the user for what permissions they have, what they can and can't do within Akeyless. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.